Hey guys, I'm back to working on the Delmonico. I did find a schematic. It's not much info. I'll show it to you in a moment. And I assembled a little parts list from it to place an order. But before I do, I want to take a look inside to make sure what I see on the schematic matches reality. And I also want to get some idea of what type of caps to get, axial, radial, whatnot. So let's see if I get this thing open. Looks like there's a couple Phillips screws on either side. They're very corroded. And I think I gotta pull the knobs off, and then maybe this pulls off. Upon closer inspection, I believe going through the bottom is the way to go. I just took off 4 screws, and this whole panel is coming loose. And there it is. Definitely some corrosion, probably from the batteries. And that is a bank of electrolytic caps. I saw it on the schematic. It looked kind of weird, but it is 500 microfarad caps, all in parallel. That's exactly why I want to take a look inside, because from the schematic I got the impression these are scattered around inside, not literally all connected together just like that. Alright. Looks like that is soldered directly in, so just going to have to deal with that. And here are the circuit boards. So I'm not entirely sure where to go from here. Looks like I can probably get this off. Yeah, I think I really got to get this plastic off somehow. I got the channel knob off easily enough, but I tried getting the smaller knobs off, and they do not want to budge. Also thinking I gotta get the handle off too. Probably can loosen these up and get it off somehow. I'm glad I asked online before I went too crazy trying to pull these knobs off, because they're held on with screws, which apparently is pretty common for transistor radios of the era. But I don't work on that kind of stuff, so I just was unaware. And they're so filthy down inside, I couldn't see if there was a screw head. But yeah, flat-bladed screws. More to go. And then these are actually attached right to this, so I think once I get this last knob off, this whole thing will lift up and out of the way. Okay, let's see. Not quite. Might be one more screw back here. No, it's not really doing anything. There we go. And voila. Just the inside looks like. A little bit of felt padding. And there it is. So that was not a heat vent on top. That was a speaker grill. board on either side. Boy, are they packed with parts. There's a little transistor guide. A little germanium. A whole mess of electrolytics that we're told are very likely all bad. And a few plastic film caps here and there. That's a mica cap. A whole bunch of carbon comp resistors all mounted vertically. Let's check out the other side. Another transistor guide. And more parts. It's an odd looking transistor. 2SC50, I think. Yeah, 2SC50 sync separator. All the others are in a metal case, but not that one. Interesting. Matsushita. Alright, so now as we get the boards out, there's a whole bunch of push connectors on there. Does not look like much fun. That's kind of what I expected. I just had to remove a couple screws up front. I was finally able to get the front cover off so I can get in there and clean it. And I discovered that there had originally been some foam padding around the perimeter that has just completely disintegrated. So I'll clean all that out, polish it up with some Novus. Looking for a much nicer viewing experience. While I had it apart, I took a ton of reference photos. Now I'm going over and cleaning it up with some Novus number 2, and now I'm going to loosely reassemble it so I don't lose anything while I wait for my parts to arrive. Here's one of the screws that holds these knobs on. You can see they are quite tiny. So, of course, I dropped one. I've just begun searching for it. Hopefully it won't take forever. So, service info. Well, after looking around online, I came to realize that the only service info that seems to be available is Sam's PhotoFact, which would not be a problem except it's only a schematic dated October 1968. So, well, that's all you get, 2 pages. But, you know, that's enough. It's enough to go on. It certainly helps. So, here is the power supply charging unit, and that selenium rectifier is indeed a full bridge rectifier. And then something you may not be used to seeing is all the filter caps, all the electrolytics have the positive going to ground. That's because all the transistors in this set are PNP. So there are the series pass regulators, Zener voltage reference. There is the switch that's giving me so much trouble with the taps on the secondary. And then there's the tuner, which hopefully I won't have to mess with. And then here is the rest of the set. Upside down. There we go. Sorry for the lousy quality. And I did get a comment that these two SA70 transistors are known for having a problem with tin whiskers. I sure hope I don't have to deal with that. So up top we've got the sound IF and audio amp. And down below that the IF for the video. 4 stages. And video amp, 2 stages, and CRT. Sync separator, vertical discharge, vertical amp. So for those of you more familiar with tube sets like myself, I do find it interesting how analogous this is to the tube sets. Basically, tube for tube, transistor for transistor, it is the same functionality blocks, just done in a rather different way with, of course, much lower voltage, and with the positive voltages, the positive on the caps all going to ground. And there's the horizontal. So the horizontal frequency seems to be off. So there is the AFC circuit, and there is the oscillator. So it's a little hard to see, but these caps could be an issue. The resistors might have drifted off value. Highly suspect of that 0.05 microfarad cap in parallel with that coil. So it'll be interesting to see what exactly is causing the problem. Now, that H drive control I tried to manipulate that I thought might be a variable cap is actually a variable resistor. But it looks like it's only 20 ohms, so maybe it's wire wound? Anyway, I'm sure I'll figure it out. And it looks like the high voltage comes from, maybe it's a tripler. Looks like the flyback only puts out about 1,000 volts peak to peak. And then we get 5,500 volts out that side. It looks like there's a bunch of diodes inside of that module, so I think it's, well, not just a tripler, maybe a quintupler. And there's all those caps we saw when I opened up the bottom side, where there were 5 big caps in parallel. Here they are on the schematic. Alrighty, got it all back together. Found all the missing screws. So once the parts I've ordered come in and I finish up with the Admiral and the GE, I will get back to this. I think it'll be a really interesting project. A bit of a departure from the vacuum tube sets I usually work on.